and welcome. You're watching FYI. I'm Sonal Mehrotra Kapoor. Bill Gates said that the future of money is digital currency. It's widely speculated that crypto will do to banks and even cash what internet did for information. It is said to be a revolution altogether. Everyone these days is talking about cryptocurrency, but is it a gamble or is it an investment? Is it the gold of the future or is it just a digital age bubble? On FYI today, we decode the bright, futuristic side of crypto, but also take note of the dark side. Basically, everything you need to know to get started on your crypto journey or not. This is Crypto for Dummies. Let's start with some basics. What does crypto even mean to begin with? Now, the word crypto literally means concealed or secret. In this context, anonymous. In principle, cryptography guarantees the security of transactions and participants are independent from any central authority and thus protected from double spending. And this is the very foundation of cryptocurrency. And before you get confused between Bitcoin and crypto, now Bitcoin is simply a name of the best known cryptocurrency like dollar or euro or even rupee is the name of one type of currency. So back to crypto though, it is decentralized, meaning there is no third party controlling it. So who does the bookkeeping then? Huh? Well, crypto community. It is regulated by the own community users and they earn crypto for it. Any attempts to fool the community get noticed and no single user or government or bank or even credit card company can force a fee on your payment. This also means that transactions on crypto are irreversible. Once you've paid it, you've paid it. Next, you would have probably heard at this point about people putting money into cryptocurrencies. And all that means is that they're exchanging normal currencies like dollars for cryptos like Bitcoin. They're hoping that those cryptocurrencies become the next big thing. But the one decision that someone would really like to make at this point is which cryptocurrency. Because enough has been talked about Bitcoin, but Bitcoin, remember, is just one of the over 4,000 different cryptos already out there, and each of them have different properties. It's like the stock market, for example, where every stock is different. There is also, for example, not just Bitcoin, but Ethereum, which is the second most invested. And in this case, the transactions here are said to be much faster than Bitcoin as well. But there are also problems with the crypto system. Let's look at the dark side of it now. One of the main reasons people don't take crypto seriously is because of its volatility. Because these currencies are so new, no one really knows what they would be worth. So you find that crypto prices are quite heavily speculative. They're tied to the news cycle. So when, for example, Elon Musk tweets about how he's going to invest in Bitcoin and how he'll allow people to buy his cars because of Bitcoin, it goes up. Then when he says that's not happening anymore, it goes down. Number two is the fact that they are not really accepted as a form of payment in most places. A lot of companies have pretty much had a back and forth on this. Tesla, I told you, Burger King, for example, also. These are companies who said that they will accept Bitcoin and then they went back on that. Number three, dark side, or why crypto is said to be so dangerous. Well, there can be an environmental concern as well. Now, by the code, the transactions are verified many times on several computers. These computers then require a lot of power, a lot of electricity. Thus, now a lot more people saying it can be environmentally damaging as well. And number four, because there is no real policing or regulation on crypto right now. It's likely to be the perfect currency for criminals. Since crypto is anonymous, which means your actual details aren't really visible to anyone, it's just a code and thus by that very nature, it's untraceable. But despite all these unregulated dark sides that we've discussed to crypto, guess how many people across the globe are invested in it? Globally, around 12 to 15 crore people are invested in crypto. Let's not get into the money that's at stake here as well. In India, what's the story, you ask? Well, the cryptocurrency space in India has been witnessing a revolution for the past couple of years. So much so is the excitement around it that Indians now seem to be changing preference from gold to crypto. According to a statement that came out by Chainalysis, they said in India, where households own more than 25,000 tons of gold, crypto investment grew from about $923 million in April 2020 to nearly $6.6 billion by just May of 2021. It also said that it represents a nearly 612% rise in the number of cryptocurrency users in our country. The largest Indian crypto platform, CoinSwitch and Kuber, they have also boarded almost 6 million active users since the inception in June of 2020. Now, this is a major mindset shift, but making many wonder, have they already missed the bus and missed the party on crypto? And then finally, if you do invest, what are some of the things you must keep in mind? That's something that we'll explore with our panel. Let's go straight to them. We have pretty much the best minds on crypto in the country for you today. We've got Aditya Singh, he's the co-founder for Crypto India. We've got Siddharth Sogani, he's the CEO of Kribako Global Inc., certified Bitcoin professional as well. We've got Nishchal Shetty, who's the founder and CEO of WazirX. And we also have Sanchita Mukherjee, she's a senior finance professional as well turned entrepreneur. So, ladies and gentlemen, there are so many questions regarding this, and I think the best way to go about this masterclass of crypto, if we can call it that on FYI, is just to throw some FAQs at you that I just want our viewers to understand. All right? So let me take the first question to Nishchal. Nishchal, the most frequently asked question is about what makes crypto so volatile. Could you explain that simply to our viewers on how that entire demand and supply business of crypto actually works?
Sure. Look, I think demand and supply is just very straightforward. You have a limited quantity of, let's say, Bitcoin. That's only going to be 21 million Bitcoin. And every year, if you look at the history of Bitcoin buyers, it's just increasing in number. So as more people buy Bitcoin each year, the price of Bitcoin is naturally going to appreciate because the supply is fixed at 21 million. So this is what usually leads to a rise in the value of a crypto like Bitcoin. Now, speaking of volatility, the thing is this is a very new market. So every time there is let's say a large news about crypto, you see millions of people entering, and that adds to the whole buying pressure, which appreciates the price. Similarly, if you hear a bad news, a large number of people start panicking and sell off. So that again leads to a downward price. So this volatility is seen because it's a new market, and this volatility has been reducing year on year. So if you look at the volatility of Bitcoin, let's say 3 years ago or 4 years ago, compare that today, it's lesser. But if you were to compare it with something like gold, which is maybe hundreds of years old, you'll definitely be surprised to see that Bitcoin has such a large volatility because it's just a 10-year-old market. So it's just a function of how many people exist in this market, which is lower than the traditional market like gold and even your stock market, which is why all these volatilities seen right now.
So you're saying more people get into the system, more stable the prices are going to get. But again, we spoke earlier and you gave that example about how it's like trading. It's like watching stocks. You have to watch different cryptocurrencies out there and invest accordingly. So for people watching right now, and let me take that to Aditya now. Aditya, how does one really watch trends on crypto? Is there a ABC or a beginner's guide on this? Aditya, I think you're mute. If you could unmute yourself, please.
Okay, now you can hear me?
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah. So I feel trading in crypto market is very much similar to other financial market wherein you can use fundamental analysis, technical analysis, and you can do the same. So that is a basic thing that even works in crypto market. The rules are little different because this is still an unregulated and fairly new market. So that is there. But if you go with fundamentals and TA, there are a lot of day traders who trade on daily basis and they are able to make a lot of profit, similar to commodity markets.
How do you check the fundamentals of any currency, for example? And so this is the 24/7, 7 days a week market, right? Trading is happening around the clock here. So there are no financials being made clear. There is no basis of going back and seeing this is the P&L of a particular company. This is what the prospects are. This is what the future plan already is. So how does one make a decision on how to invest?
Right. So as you mentioned in the beginning, there are around 4,000 cryptocurrencies in this space, and everybody is trying to build a new product which can be used in coming days. But if overall, if you look at it, when we talk about cryptocurrencies or let's say crypto assets, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and there are few coins that actually matter in current stage when we look at it. Other coins are purely there where they are trying to make new projects. So their prices fluctuate on regular basis. But if you want to get into the space, if you want to get into crypto space, the actual cryptocurrencies that you should be focusing on if you want to hold it for a longer duration, that is Bitcoin and Ethereum, and maybe few other top 10 cryptocurrencies that you can see by market cap. But other coins, they are there, which you can evaluate on the basis of reading their white paper. You can look at the team, you can see what they are building, whether does it actually make sense. Is it something which will be there after a few years and people will be adopting it? So on that basis, if you want to trade it, you can do it. But majorly, if you are a newbie and you want to get into crypto, it is better that you stick to large cap cryptocurrencies like crypto assets like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and few others maybe. Don't risk with new coins or meme coins and other coins that keep on coming up because they have very high risk.
Well, meme really drew one coin to epic heights, and we'll talk about that in the course of the program as well. Let me come to Siddharth next. And Siddharth, one of the questions that really comes to mind is we still don't know who's behind. And before I confuse my viewers with what blockchain is, just to understand it's the basis on which these codes are generated, just to put it out very, very simply for you, all right? So it's the code that defines how the trading is done in this business. Now, Aditya, Siddharth, sorry, what is it that makes these crypto blockchains hack-proof? Or is there a way that somebody can actually hack into it?
Yeah, so it is hack-proof till now. There was, there was an incident back in 2012 where the network, because that time the network was too small, but now the network effect has grown substantially. It's huge. There are thousands of miners and nodes all over the world. There is even one node running in the space. Space Chain has sent a Bitcoin and an Ethereum node in space, or I think they are planning to send it with SpaceX Falcon rockets. So if a lot of people have a copy of the transaction, which is the nodes and the miners, it is impossible to hack it, and a lot of people argue that, when quantum computers come in, they can gain control over the network, but this is technology, and technology is always upgrading, like how your mobile
phone
but
it's a code, so somebody could write a better code and override this.
They can, but the network effect will finally rule, because the stronger and bigger your network would be, the more credibility and integrity of that network will be, the assessment parameters would be new. So even if, Bitcoin's SHA-256 algorithm is quite outdated. There are better chains which are doing better and faster transactions than Bitcoin. But if you see the credibility of the Bitcoin network, it is higher than anybody. It still has 60% market share, and it is there since last 10 years. So if you compare it with even a better technology, it is still the best.
Okay. Which brings me to the question that is often next most asked, and why people are still quite confused about it. And let me go to Sanchita on that one, about is this really legal? We actually did some research on FYI, and we'll have those graphics up on the screen as well on how cryptocurrency is actually seen across the globe. And in India, Sanchita, we understand it's a bit of a gray area. The worry here is that there is no regulation. If say somebody were to hack your system or anything worse that could have happened actually, there is nobody you can go to and have sort of the matter being looked into.
Yes, thank you so much for having me here. At straight in, I would just like to say that I'm not representing any organization or firm. These are completely my own personal views. So before we delve into this very critical question that you've raised of me, I will not be discussing whether cryptocurrencies are good or bad. I think this show is more about the understanding of cryptos and what it exactly means, especially in India. Right? So cryptos are digital tokens, right? And the digital transformation and the deployment of crypto assets, cryptocurrencies have actually had a great potential. So there's no second doubting the technology behind. They have great potential for making payments and transfers very, very efficient. However, the speed and reach of these transactions and the potential for anonymous activity, right, along with these transactions being without any financial intermediaries, makes cryptocurrencies very vulnerable towards misuse and raises the risks of money laundering, which is something that RBI looks upon with great caution in today's date. Right, so let's understand, till the point in time, cryptocurrencies worldwide, right, especially by large democratic governments, are taken, accepted and acknowledged as legal contracts, right? And then there are regulations which are uniform, which are across the board, be it a central regulation or very similar. Right now, you know, most countries have their own interpretations on the legality of these currencies, have their own interpretations on regulations of these currencies. Say within United States, I mean, that's credible enough for you. They would have three different regulators, the SEC and two others, and their interpretation on whether it's a commodity, whether it's a currency, or whether it's something else as a digitized token, are considered different and taxed differently according to the IRS as well. So till the point, I think this is more or less accepted and acknowledged. I think it's open for interpretation, it's open for large speculation, and it needs to be approached with an understanding of the risks involved and the caution therein.
All right. All valid points over there, but you know, we've also been learning that perhaps the government of India is already in the works of a bill and some sort of regulation that might come in on crypto. We don't have the details of that just yet, but maybe Nischal can shed more light on that, but also talk about, you know, Nischal, we spoke in my explainer also, I talked about the over 600% increase that we've seen in investments in crypto in India in just the past 1 year. Is this a pandemic effect? Is this the people trying out new things because they're sitting on some money, not knowing what to do perhaps, and this is the bubble which is perhaps going to burst?
Look, the pandemic definitely has played a large part of this, and disposable incomes anyways are increasing year on year. But I think what is more important is in the pandemic, you have more time on hand and you're spending that time on the internet. And what you do is you upskill yourself, you learn about new stuff. And that's nothing more interesting and more in right now compared to crypto. And this is what led to this massive influx of new people, not just in India, but globally. Because crypto is that one opportunity that, you know, you could be from any background. You don't really necessarily have to be a tech or a finance person. And you can get in and you can be in any part of the world. All you need is a mobile phone and an internet. So the accessibility and the time that you got in the pandemic is what led to this massive inflow of new people in India as well as global. And I think that also led to the appreciation of prices. So it's sort of, you know, everything just fell in place for crypto. And naturally, when you look at this whole price rise, that again snowballs to more people getting it. And that's what we've been seeing from March 2020 until now, is every quarter there's been more people coming in. Because, you know, the first set of people who come in, they invest, they understand the technology, and then they go back and teach maybe 5 more friends.
Yeah.
And, you know,
that certainly is happening in our newsrooms, in all our Zoom meetings with friends as well. Everybody's talking about crypto. I think that's what compelled us to the program as well. But Siddharth, tell us more about what are some basics that people should keep in mind once they get invested or they make up their mind about trying out crypto. Some safe ways, perhaps.
Yeah, cryptos are an essential part of your portfolio now. I mean, the new age portfolio must have some crypto in it. I've always been suggesting that you should keep 4 to 5% of your portfolio size into crypto and consider it as an insurance, because it is not directly, linked to or pegged to any of the geopolitical situations or the markets.
Right.
So if the global markets are falling, probably crypto will have a short-term, a panic sale, but it will recover. Even in March 2020, when February 2020, when the world markets just fell down, because of this corona announcements and all these things.
But Siddharth, one tweet by someone can really lead to you losing all your money, or you becoming a billionaire overnight. So
it is
how does that?
speculative.
And there is no way one can sort of tap into it, or there's no way there's a trend that one can really watch out for.
See, there have been speculations in stock markets also. Okay, stop billing. I would tell this to everybody that don't point out only at crypto. There have been in category B stocks, there have been so much speculation. There are upper circuits every day for weeks. So what are those? So, but yes, cryptos are global. Because they are not regulated by just SEC or just the SEBI, they are global. It is very difficult to regulate them, and it is speculative since the market size is too small. And I would say the global market size is say 100 trillion, probably 130 trillion now, and cryptos are just 1.5 trillion. So it's too small. A whale always swims slow, but a shark can just, because it's small, it's like a piranha. It can just go zoop, zoop, zoop. But
Okay.
A whale is huge. A speedboat can probably run faster, but a big
I get your
tank
drift.
would-
I have last 2 minutes in the program, and I quickly want to go across both Aditya and Sanchita. Aditya, to you now, do you think a paradigm shift in how Indians invest in crypto is going to come once the regulation actually comes into being? Is that something that the community would also want?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like there are a lot of people in the community who often even approach me and they say that we are also interested in buying this new asset class, but we are still waiting for a proper regulation so that we know that we can buy it and we can hold it for a longer duration. And if we look at Bitcoin, it is a new form of digital asset which only goes up, because mostly people talk about the recent price movement from last few months, but if you want to look at the real picture, all you need to do is zoom out and look at the entire price chart. It is the best performing asset in a decade. So it is definitely something, the kind of adoption and regulations that are coming all over the world in other countries. Like in US, OCC has passed a rule wherein the banks can offer Bitcoin.
All right, seem to have lost the audio on Aditya. Let me go to Sanchita next. Sanchita, then what are the red flags over here really? You're the voice of caution on the panel on how to take this slow and steady. What is a thought you would like to leave our viewers with?
So very importantly, when we are comparing it to a currency, my only food for thought here is that can we actually do that? It is a digitized token end of the day. When I'm talking about a currency, what is a currency of a sovereign nation? The currency of a sovereign nation is backed by the economic health of the nation, right? You can say it is reserves, it is the GDP, it is the interest rate, various things, but essentially the economic health of a nation, right? That gives the right to the nation to trade in goods, to negotiate treaties, to go and tell Iran you have to sign on the nuclear non-proliferation treaty and all of that, right? That is the strength of a sovereign currency. Bitcoin or a cryptocurrency, on the other hand, what is the underlying value? So what I heard from this panel is that it keeps going up. There is no zero intrinsic value, right? And it is essentially a product of a demand and supply, right? It is not like a real currency. A real currency has a sovereign backing. It is a legal contract. It is the economic health of a nation. Similarly, in equity, you will have the backing of a business, however small, right? Whatever the corporate governance issues that might rise, it is still the backing of a business. So there is certain intrinsic values in different asset classes.
But isn't that how the entire shift came from gold and silver coins to the other coins to then cash? It is at the end of the day just a bill. It's just a printed thing, right? So anyways, this is the interesting conversation and something that we can actually take forward to further episodes as well. Thank you all for joining us and giving us your insights. Like we said, this is just a beginner's guide. We can deep dive into the world of crypto in later episodes as well. That's it for now. Thank you for watching FYI. We'll see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.